we have question from Urvi Sharma. She is 20 years old, Greater Noida. What holds back Arjuna from fighting the Kauravas' army? Is it the compassion he has for his family member, or is it he's afraid to do something wrong and ultimately affect his conscience? He has presented many points for why he does not feel right to fight the Kauravas, and it is quite confusing to why he was actually unwilling. Well, that is what the journey of Arjuna is going to be, and please know this, dear Urvi, and that is that you too are an Arjuna, and you too will have to face someday some army, some Kauravas will come in your life too. And when that Kaurava would be, now I am not saying just to you, I am not making some kind of a prediction, I am just giving an example that sometime it can be that that Kaurava would be the husband or the boyfriend or mother or father or brother or sister, and you have to fight with them. How will you do that? So Arjuna is in a very, very difficult situation where he is facing his own teachers, his guru, and his beloved Bhishma Pitama, his great grandfather, grandfather figure, I would say. And he has to fight, and fight is not a game, not a sport, but it's a fight to kill. He has to kill them. He has to kill them. So obviously Arjuna is really taken over by these different emotions, and he's worried about what will happen, is it the only way? And actually he knows in one way, but what happens is when any one emotion takes over, this emotion is not like a small wave in a teacup. This emotion is like going to be a tsunami, and when tsunami comes, it just eats up all the towns and the cities, whatsoever comes in its path. So our negative emotions are like a tsunami. And in one's life, you're too young, you're just 20. So life is going to be very melodramatic. And when you will observe people around you, even now you will be able to see those examples where this melodrama is already happening. They know that this person is wrong, they know that they should do this, and yet they end up, by co-partnering with that wrong person, or by working for that wrong person, or by doing that what they are not supposed to do, and yet they will be doing it. So this dilemma is not dilemma of Arjuna alone exclusively. This is going to be dilemma of many, many people. So please don't read Bhagavad Gita as if it is story of Arjuna. This is your story. If your life is very comfortable at the moment, I am very happy for you, good wishes. But life is not just going to be a silk smooth ride in a silky bed. Life is very challenging. Life can be very challenging. Life will bring many ups and downs, and especially life brings up these situations where you are faced opposite your own family members, and that's the dilemma of Arjuna. There's emotions are there, so there's a lot of confusion because of that. And because Arjuna is not a greedy person or egoistic person, such people don't think, they just do it. There are people who have killed their own mother and father and husband and wife and children. And here we have Arjuna, he had every valid reason to kill everybody, who is his opponent, but yet, because he is personally not an aggressive person, and he is a kind, he's a generous, he's a dharmic person, and who thinks before doing anything, who is very challenged that why and how can somebody be this wrong, and is one wrong to be given a reply with another wrong, will two wrongs make one right? And that's the beauty of Arjuna, that he's thinking, he's contemplating before doing anything, and he's imploring see Krishna, and he's, like wailing like a woman actually sometimes. In first Adhyaya it seems, oh, how come he can be this silly? But this is what a human being will be, a silly person when emotions take over. Then when you watch somebody else being silly, it's very easy to be a judge and say, how can you be silly? But what about if you yourself will be in shoes of Arjuna? Would you be able to remain calm, quiet and very intelligent? Or again, you too will be a very, silly? Emotions are very difficult, thing to understand, very complex. And it holds on to the mind and it puts you down. And it's very, very difficult, to come out of those weaknesses of the mind. And this is what Gita is, a beautiful journey of a weak mind to becoming a very strong. From an ill-informed and with a lot of confusions to coming up to a beautiful clarity and clear perception, and the mind becomes this translucent. So this is the journey of Arjuna, and this is, I would believe, journey of every human being, because now and then you are faced with your own personal Kurukshetras, and you have your own personal Kuru enemies in your life, and you have to face them, and then you have to decide what to do and what not to do. So if these decisions come from your selfish, greedy mind, decisions will be wrong. But like Arjuna, if you change your mind first and make it clear, perceptive, with cognition, with great understanding, with great pragya, and it is easier to make right decision, which might sound very, very, it's like somebody has a tumor in a hand, and doctor says that, well, now it has created septicemia in your body and we'll have to chop down your hand to save your life. What will patient say? Oh, don't chop my hand. Yeah, I know, patient loves his hand. Nobody wants their hand to be chopped. But to save the life, the hand must be chopped. So the patient with another hand writes down, the signature on the form before the operation, that whatever may happen, I won't hold responsible, the doctor and all that. And he's signing up, maybe with that very same hand, that I give you permission to chop down my hand. I love my hand, but still, this is what is needed. So sometimes there are these tumorous relationships which you have to chop down. You have to chop down. There you should not allow your being, people say, oh, I'm sensitive, oh, I'm responsible, oh, I am very nice person, how can I do something this bad? But the truth is, sometimes you have to do that. So I have seen people who got their foot amputated, who got their hand amputated because of the complications of diabetes. And they don't regret it because they know their life got saved. So Arjuna was in this difficult situation because his loved ones are there who have behaved very, very cruelly to him. And to fight with your loved ones is not easy. It was not easy then, and it's not easy even now.